brighten up those dark mornings. Wheeler, Ollie, and Lecter. Mornings at the Cabin.
Happy Wednesday morning. Lecter and AJ with you here at the cabin, keeping things cozy, firing up the fireplace, even though it's only -8 in Yellowknife. I don't even think we had to jump the gun on the fire this morning, AJ.
Yeah, we may have. It's more of a floorboard propane heater, I believe.
Just like a blanket.
Yeah.
Or just your regular clothes.
Feels weird to kind of nestle up to it, but it gets the job done.
I'll cuddle if you're down.
I'm always down.
Okay. We'll get to that. Big morning here. It was Sibs's, if you were listening yesterday morning, it was her belated birthday gift morning show where we had Kevin McDonald, not K-Mac, not way back with K-Mac, a different Kevin McDonald.
K-Mick.
K-Mick, that's right.
Or MC Donald.
Not Kimmick Kennels either. K-Mick Donald.
Yeah, the space is really important.
Sibs had no idea who he was.
Fair enough. I mean, I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
But then you mentioned that 70s show, and I knew I recognized him.
It's amazing because he's such, like, his comedy is very, very self-deprecating.
Yes.
But
clearly,
he's had an amazing career. He's done a ton of stuff. You probably do know him from something. If, like, the name Kevin McDonald isn't immediately recognizable to you, you probably either know him from Kids in the Hall, or maybe that 70s show, or maybe, like, Sibs found out that he did, like, a voice in some show that she liked. So she was like, oh, Kevin, Lilo and Stitch. That was the one. Yeah.
I think he was one of, like, the Monsters voices, though. Like, they don't speak English. They just make a bunch of noises.
Well, that intro went fast.
Yeah.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast.
Wednesday morning. Mornings at the Cabin is brought to you by Aurora Ford, driving the north, and rumor on the street is that year-end clearance you've heard so much about, it's been extended, AJ.
What?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
I know, but they're doing it anyway.
Good for them.
Right?
Good for them.
They're looking out for all of us.
Don't let the calendar dictate what your sale is.
Well, and we all had a lot going on before the end of the year.
Why not extend 2020 another month?
I think we can all be thankful for that. So check it out. Aurora Ford, driving the north, and the proud sponsors of Mornings at the Cabin. Good morning. Happy Wednesday to all of you. As we tried to get through on the intro, it was a big day yesterday, and I didn't even get to what was arguably the biggest thing about yesterday. Anyway, specifically from a Mornings at the Cabin standpoint, that being that we had a little milestone yesterday morning, or I suppose yesterday afternoon, when the 600th Mornings at the Cabin podcast was posted online.
I didn't even know.
There you go. That's because exciting. It's a kind of an unremarkable milestone.
Yeah, 600's a weird milestone, but nice round number. Definitely worth celebrating.
It's rounder than 500.
I don't think that's true.
Sure it is. A 5 is a very jagged number. You got those two right angles in there.
That's true. And then you've got the loop at the bottom. The 6 is essentially one big loop.
The 6 is just like a loop. Yeah, it's like almost like a little infinity loop, you know?
Literally speaking, yes, it is a rounder.
Yeah, it's not as round as 800, but like now you're just splitting hairs.
Well, are we even going to get to 800, you know?
I mean, eventually.
You'd like to think so. You
know, I think we're actually closer to 800 total morning shows that we've done so far to this point than the 600 Mornings at the Cabin podcast, because of course there were, times where like early on in Mornings at the Cabin's young life, not even 3 years old yet.
We were all young once.
That's right. There was a portion of time where I don't think we had started doing a daily podcast yet. And I don't remember. I wasn't here when we started off, as some may recall.
I recall.
So I don't. Yes. So I don't remember if we hit the ground running with the follow-up morning podcast.
No, I think you were the pioneer.
Show. I was the pioneer?
I think you were the champion of the podcast.
Okay, well, I don't want to take too much credit, but
when you got back from your trip.
When I got back from gallivanting around the world. Yep. Yes. Man, I miss traveling. Oh, man.
Oh, no, sorry. I've just dropped you down this wormhole.
I know everyone feels a lot of people feel my pain on that one. Not everyone. Not everyone likes traveling, and that is just fine. But yes, so of course there was a portion of time where we weren't doing a daily podcast So a lot of morning shows were missed as far as getting packaged into a podcast there. And then there were just random times where the old logging software, which just records all of what you're hearing right now into our system, and that's what we pull the audio from to make the podcast, it just wasn't so good. It didn't work so well.
No.
And like once a week, we would lose an entire morning show. And there would be no podcast.
Or the audio was way off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There would be like weird, like it sounded like there was kind of like squirrels running in the electronics and just like nipping at things. Yeah. It was a very strange sound and not pleasing to the ear. So that was why we just would ditch those and just say there was no morning show this morning. I don't know what you're all talking about. There's no podcast. So clearly there was no morning show.
Yeah. So it's our 600th podcast.
Yeah.
Plus some.
So I think I was trying to estimate yesterday what that would mean as far as how many morning shows we've actually done. And I figured it was probably around like,
I don't think we missed that many.
I figured, well, I thought it was probably around like 720 or something like that. I think it's past the 700 mark for actual morning shows, but
seeing as we have no idea. Sure.
Seeing as how we have no idea, we just go by the podcast now. That is all we celebrate. And so with that in mind, I just Googled unremarkable milestones.
Okay.
And
it's a good Google.
And an article came up from lifehack.org titled The 12 Most Important Milestones in Life to Grow Through. So the exact opposite of unremarkable milestones. But I thought all of these might kind of put into perspective what a 600th Mornings at the Cabin podcast, just how unremarkable that really is. So the first one, opening your first paycheck.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't remember that at all.
I don't remember that at all either. I don't think I even opened it. I think I just there was already a direct deposit. That was already a thing when I got my first paycheck. And so it just kind of deposited into my account. And I didn't even think anything of it. I'm like, why would I open this envelope that I already know is telling me something that already happened?
Yeah. I admire people that take like that first paycheck and then like frame it.
Yeah.
I'm like, that would have been kind of cool.
Yeah. Really sentimental types.
Yeah. My first paycheck was from like a essential oils warehouse.
Really?
Yeah. My neighbor owned it. So I had to go in and like do the inventory for the warehouse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I only did it for like 4 or 5 days.
Right.
But I definitely got a paycheck. But I passed that right off to mom and dad. Cash is for me, guys. Okay.
So it was just like a part-time thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So my first like part-time job, I would have gotten an actual paycheck. But again, I don't think I felt like gushy about it.
No.
Just just go to the bank, get my money.
Pay me.
Yeah. Away we go. I'll blow it on something stupid because I'm like 15.
Yeah.
And and nothing is sacred at 15. Number 2, leaving home. That's a big one.
That is a big one.
Happens a lot of very different times for a lot of people, yourself included.
Many times, actually.
Yeah.
But the first time was a week after I graduated high school.
Yeah, which is like...
wasn't a big deal for me. I was like, all right, see you guys. But obviously it was a very big deal for my mom.
It's so traditional.
Yeah.
You're done high school, you're graduated, you're 18, you're out the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Off to the working life of a snowboard instructor.
Oh, that sounds dangerous. Number 3, falling in love and getting your heart broken for the first time. Something everyone likes to remark upon.
Yeah, I love to just reminisce.
Yeah.
Oh, those were good times.
That was fun.
When she cheated on me and moved on so quickly.
Yeah, crying for a few days. That was good.
I wish I could frame that, put it on the wall.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Number 4, gaining self-awareness and autonomy. And I don't think this is something that
Autonomy.
Autonomy. That's the one. So something that I have yet to achieve.
Or even know how to say properly.
Don't know how to say. You know what? I had a moment where I was like, I know what this word means. And I know I'm going to pronounce it wrong. And there it is.
This is a remarkable moment as far as I'm concerned.
How did I pronounce it again?
Autonomy.
You ought to know me, but you don't. Anyway, that's one that some people never achieve. And I'm still trying to get there myself, apparently. Number 5, realizing your parents are real people.
Ooh, I don't know if there was a specific moment, but there was definitely a couple times where I realized that adults in general can be quite stupid.
Yeah.
And that to me was pretty groundbreaking.
I actually, sorry, go ahead.
I mean, that's pretty much all adults can be stupid.
Yeah.
There was no real moment. But when you realize that you go, oh, they're not all correct all the time.
Yeah.
That's kind of alarming, especially when you're a young adult and you go, oh, I'm already better at being an adult than you are. And you kind of raised me.
You guided me
Weird
this
Uncle
way.
Rob.
You led me astray.
I thought you were always right. You're always wrong.
Number 6, surviving disappointment.
Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty vague.
That's just a learning experience, you know? Yeah, like we all, I mean, it could happen in kindergarten.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, when your finger painting just doesn't turn out the way you want it to.
Yeah, another one that's not frameable. You're going to throw that in the garbage and you're going to try again. Number 7, experiencing a different culture. Something that is pretty important that also, along with autonomy,
yes.
A lot of people don't maybe ever get there.
Or think they're there.
Yeah.
But they don't really get there.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, Alberta's so exotic. Have you been to West Ed?
Oh, they've got a splash park.
They've got
in that
everything.
mall.
I hear there's a driving range on the roof.
Number 8, doing something that terrifies us. Ooh.
That is a good one.
That is a good one.
Once again, though, these are blanket.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know if you can narrow it down to the first time.
Something very common could terrify you. Yeah.
That's true. Like I wouldn't be able to go back. Oh, I remember the first time I was completely terrified.
Go on.
Maybe spiders. I don't know, but I can't remember it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of times.
Right.
I'm scared a lot.
I mean, going to, like after you graduate high school, which, by that point is just like, it's just your life going to school, going to university.
Yeah,
that could be a big one that terrifies a lot of people.
Could be a big one, especially like for Yellowknifers, because you got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
So you're going to a university for the first time and you've moved out. You're on your own for the first time. So that could be, I don't know, it could be exciting at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm sure there's a little bit of fear there.
Number 9, dealing with the death of a loved one. That's fun. We all love that.
That's a remarkable milestone.
That is another non-frameable one. Number 10, failing, which is similar to surviving disappointment. You just kind of have to, yeah.
So it's not a remarkable milestone. You'll go back. Well, I remember my first failure.
And all of a sudden, this is following a sudden trend that is just going in a downward spiral, hitting rock bottom.
Oh, actually, there is a specific moment where I hit rock bottom. I definitely remember that.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, we could go into that, but
it was 2009. It was the recession, Scott.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, we were all right there with you, I suppose. And then number 12, finally, doing something selfless. So saving someone's life, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, there was that baby in a burning building. But I don't know if that was the
you
most
saved that baby, didn't you?
No, I saved the building.
The baby was tragically.
Unfortunately, the baby did not make it.
So there you go. 12 remarkable milestones through life that just put into perspective how fairly unremarkable a 600th Mornings at the Cabin podcast is. But nevertheless, there it is. We're proud of it, and we will continue to bring you more Mornings at the Cabin podcast. And if you've never checked one out, well, then I'm shocked that you're up listening this early. You don't have to be. You could just check out the Mornings at the Cabin podcast. It's the exact same show.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast. Hey, it was early. What do you want from us?
Mornings at the Cabin brought to you by Aurora Ford, driving the North. Very exciting stuff. If you go to nacnt.ca, I am overjoyed to see and announce that Jimmy T and the Sociables East Coast Kitchen Party is coming to the NAC stage January 29th, 7:30 p.m., a live show. We finally got Jimmy T back on stage. I could not be happier about it. Of course, if you are a regular or were a regular at the Black Knight East Coast Kitchen Parties with Jimmy T, you'll know that he will, of course, be joined by Ben Jammin Russo and a very special guest, Bobby Bassman Baggs on bass.
Bobby Bassman?
Guest. Bobby Bassman.
Man, he's a legend.
That's right. He absolutely is. So check that out, nacnt.ca. If you want to get tickets to the live show, of course, well, as has been the case with all NAC shows recently in the last 9 months or so, since they've been allowed to do shows again. Very limited capacity. I think about 50 tickets will be available I don't know how many are available yet. As you know, if you know Jimmy T, he's friends with literally the entire town of Yellowknife. So I think there's going to be a lot of people trying to get these tickets bright and early. So there might be some available. I don't know. I've been fooled by looking at the seating charts at the NAC website before.
I believe there's still tickets.
So don't be fooled by that. If you want to get tickets, call the NAC box office, and that number is 766-6101. Jimmy T and the Sociables, January 29th. Very happy to announce that as we are here at Cabin Radio. Yesterday, as we mentioned off the intro, was Sarah Sibley's belated birthday gift presentation from Mr. Jesse Wheeler. We did what I think is going to be the default Mornings at the Cabin gift from now on.
Yeah, it was too good. It was a lot of fun. It was a long message.
It was. Yep.
When I heard it in the morning and then I heard it in the afternoon again, it was long. But luckily it held up though. It was funny.
Yeah.
See, I've gotten one of those.
Oh, have you?
Yes. It was also long.
Okay.
Not as long, but still long. And
for a birthday?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was just a rambling mess.
Oh God.
It was actually tragic.
Oh no.
It was Andy Dick.
Oh no.
Yeah. I have a funny feeling a friend of mine was maybe on a budget.
Right. Yeah.
Couldn't spring for the good celebrities.
Yeah.
On the Cameo.
Yeah.
Well,
there's some good deals in the bargain bin on Cameo.
And I think he just thought of Andy Dick in his prime.
Right.
Who was very, very funny. He was his own character. His character was funny, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a guy I'd like to hang out with.
No, not particularly.
But it was just tragic.
Yeah.
The poor guy was, clearly strung out. And
oh no.
It was, he just kept murmuring TikTok and Andrew Goodwin.
Oh my God.
I don't even know what the message.
That's just creepy.
Yeah. Something about my mom.
What?
Yeah. I don't know. My friend must have, because you put in a message, right? You tell them like what you'd like them to kind of bring up in this message.
Yeah.
So he put something about like, I don't know, something about my mom and me being a TikTok star.
Okay. Well, that's true. Yeah. How did he know that?
My mom's proud of me and I'm better than my brother because I'm a TikTok star, something like that.
Oh, so that was probably all in the message. Yeah.
Yeah, but you had to really sift through some murmuring, rambling. He seemed like he was having a bad day.
Oh man.
Yeah. So Sibley definitely got the better one.
Yeah.
Out of the two.
Yeah. Well,
but I do like the trend though.
Yeah. It's great. It works for the morning show. We can play something, and we can judge these celebrities by how worth it the money we spent on this birthday gift was.
Yep, and choosing the celebrity.
Yeah,
right? Like that'll be a fun. That's something we could probably do on air too. Just kind of go through the list and
that's right.
Figure out which B list / X celebrity that we can afford.
And the beautiful thing is that if the Cameo falls flat, it's not even our fault.
No.
We could just blame the celebrity.
Exactly.
We paid them, in some cases, good money. In some cases, money.
Money.
And the performance is all on them.
Exactly.
So if one of our coworkers or employees' birthdays from this point on is ruined, it's not even our fault.
It's not us. It's the thought that counts.
It is the thought that counts.
And if the celebrity, just doesn't come through, it's on them.
It's beautiful. I can't wait now until our next. I previously dreaded all birthdays.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait until our next. But who is? Do you know off the top of your head who is our next cabin?
Oh, geez,
radio member birthday.
I'd have to go through our documentation.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm actually chomping at the bit to buy the next one.
Well, I know Meaghan is in May.
Okay, that could be the next one.
That could be the next one.
Yeah.
It's not Ollie.
Someone probably just guys.
It's not me.
You're forgetting about me again.
It's not Jesse. Yeah.
It
might.
Could be.
Amen.
Really, our birthdays are very clumped together, except for mine.
We're on the back
end
of the year.
Anyway, so that is going to be a Mornings at the Cabin tradition from now on. Buying Cameo birthday greetings. You mentioned, that you get to put in a little birthday message, something that you'd like them to work into it. So we put in, as part of Kevin McDonald's happy birthday message to Sarah Sibley, HBD, which of course most people know is an abbreviated version of happy birthday.
Yeah. Makes me think that maybe that's a Canadian thing.
It could be. I mean, he's Canadian, so
Oh,
There's no excuse there. He's from Winnipeg, actually.
There goes that theory.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, well, maybe it's just like a Facebook thing. Because
that could be
where you see it a lot.
Yeah.
And he's kind of older now.
So he didn't know what HBD meant. He thought it meant maybe happy birthday dancers. Pointed out that if, we got to be equal.
Yeah, which made sense.
Fair,
maybe not the dancing part, but putting the H and B as happy birthday.
Yeah, it's a bit confusing.
Yeah, because it's not two separate words, birthday.
Yeah, the BD.
Yeah.
Like that's one word.
I got it.
Kind of with him there.
I understood it, yeah.
He took another stab at it, of course, and guessed maybe it was high biscuit dunking.
Which, honestly, that would have been my first guess.
A little bit bizarre. His thought was, maybe you take your coffee and you're dunking your biscuits in it, you hold it up, and then he just lost it.
Yeah.
But
it's thought provoking.
Yeah.
Right? What is high biscuit dunking? How intense is it? Is there a cup on the top of the wardrobe and you're jumping up and slamming this cup? It's thought provoking.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. He's just trying to get the wheels turning.
I like where his head was at. Nevertheless, the long play joke that I literally been waiting 7 years to make, which is that our very own Kevin McDonald, host of Way Back with K-Mac, Saturday mornings on Cabin Radio.
The better known Kevin McDonald. The still celebrity. Yes.
Kevin wouldn't be in the bargin bin of Cameo.
No, we couldn't afford a Kevin McDonald.
Luckily, we get it every Saturday morning.
Yeah. For free.
He absolutely dunked on that joke by coming in a little bit later in the morning and bringing Sibs a coffee and a biscuit so that she could celebrate her birthday by doing a little high biscuit dunking.
Actually, he just brought a coffee cup.
Oh, it was just a cup?
Yeah. I believe as he was leaving, I remember hearing something like, oh, there's actually nothing in there. Like classic.
K-Mac, you beauty.
Got her.
Happy birthday, Sibs. Once again, that's the last time you're going to hear it.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast where we cut out all the great music and you're left with the rest.
Joined in studio now by Mr. Ollie Williams. Ollie, welcome. I apologize. I don't have your entrance music queued up for you. It is a cold open for Mr. Ollie.
Oh, Canada, we whatever the lyrics are.
Oh, wow. You're pulling a Bryan Adams.
There you go.
That's
my entry music.
Really early that you forgot the lyrics.
That's okay.
We
I didn't
stand
know
on
how
guard
to...
for thee.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah?
No.
I mean, that's in there.
Home and native land are the lyrics you were looking for.
You see,
there.
it isn't, though. So
it is not.
It
so
would be
I
a bit
guess
of a lie.
yeah, that's a good one for you to leave out. Fair enough. Welcome, Ollie.
Thanks.
Happy Wednesday to you.
I just could hear people picking up pitchforks and coming after me for that anthem now. It's like,
Wow.
Sorry, everyone.
It's pretty disrespectful.
I've not paid any attention to that. If it helps, if it makes anyone feel any better, I was thinking yesterday about the American national anthem and couldn't even remember what it was. So, at least I can remember the Canadian tune.
You can remember what it was called or how it goes?
I couldn't remember how it goes.
Oh, okay. I love the American national anthem. I'm not going to lie. I think it's a beautiful song.
It is nice, yeah. I remember standing up at my citizenship ceremony, and they were playing "O Canada," obviously.
Yeah.
And I definitely forgot half the words.
Put your heart on your hand, and they were like, put that down. We don't do that here.
Moved my mouth a bunch of times. Oh, geez, this is not a good look.
Hey, that brings up a good point. You're going for your citizenship test soon. You got to learn those lyrics to the anthem, buddy.
When you say going for your citizenship test soon, I've started filling out the paperwork.
Uh-huh.
And it takes about 2 years.
And what's question one? Or are there questions? Yeah.
First name.
First.
Yeah.
Now I'm
You
good
got that,
on that.
right? Okay.
I'm good on that, yeah.
Did you put Ollie or Oliver?
I always put Oliver for those.
Okay.
Yeah, on the grounds it will make it harder to track me.
Fair enough. And you don't want them making that low-hanging fruit Family Guy joke right off the bat.
Exactly, right? You need to, the last thing you want is for the people at Citizenship and Immigration to be like,
yeah.
Straight it sideways.
Yeah.
Like, all right, thanks.
Okay,
We all get it. There's a Family Guy character called Ollie Williams. Great. Yep. That joke's 20 years old now.
Yeah. Now you're deported. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, say a joke and then deport me.
We'll do. Let us know when you're getting a little closer to whatever the tough part of the Canadian citizenship test, and Jesse and I'll have to do a little crash course quiz for you. Something that probably won't help you at all.
Know what the second line beyond the words "Oh Canada" is of the national anthem, really, wouldn't it?
We'll get you to recite it.
I think you actually have to sing the national anthem in
Do
the
you
citizenship.
actually?
Well, I think everyone stands up and sings it, and I wonder, it's at the graduation ceremony, right, where you get your citizenship. I do sometimes wonder if there are snipers lined up or something that watch for people who lose the lyrics. I'm like, all right, get rid of that one.
Yeah.
Well,
that one's not coming in.
I can attest there are no snipers. Otherwise, I would not be here today.
Okay, there you go.
Great.
All
Either
right.
that or they're just They're just
Well,
stormtroopers.
they're a
They're
bad shot.
stormtroopers.
They're
yeah.
a bad shot.
Yeah,
just
there's
move-
like this whole bunch of like laser sort of debris at the back of the room, but you got out of there scot-free.
Yeah. So just
poor
move your
person
mouth
thought.
in time,
Yeah.
and you
Okay.
should be okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that is not what we brought you in here this morning for.
That's a relief.
You wrote up on the Mornings at the Cabin whiteboard that Meaghan, affectionately known around here at Cabin Radio as Meaghan Brackenbury, needs a new name.
Yeah, she does.
Now, are we talking an official name or a new nickname?
You
Is
guys
she just
talking-
not like the name Meaghan anymore?
Well, there's been a development as regards Meaghan's.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw there's a Beaverton article. It's a little old now, but it was being shared around the office earlier this week.
Okay.
That the Meaghans of the world have collectively come together and agreed upon a unified spelling.
Oh, right. Yeah, okay, because hers is one of those, I'm not going to call it a wacky spelling.
It's just like
Elaborate.
Elaborate.
it's a Scrabble spelling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meaghan.
There's an extra vowel where there, arguably doesn't need
There's an
to
extra
be.
vowel. There's an extra consonant.
Yeah.
There's just you dipped a few too many times into the bag of letters,
Yeah.
and then you had to play them somehow. Yeah.
Now,
So-
this is nothing, and no offense to Carrie Brackenbury, who is probably listening right now, and I assume pick that name.
Well, you would assume that had some input.
I mean, it could have just been a wheel of spin
Being
the wheel
her mom.
type of situation.
Yeah.
I admire it. She went, I like the name Meaghan, so
Yeah.
we're really going to go for it.
Yeah.
Put as many vowels as we possibly can in this thing.
So-
and throw an H. Why not?
Well, the Beaverton article suggested that the unified spelling of Meaghan, now agreed upon by all Meaghans so as to comprise at least some component part of every spelling of Meaghan to date, would be Meaghhyn.
GG.
Meaghan.
G-G-A-H-Y-N?
Meaghhyn.
Y. Oh, YN. Oh, I didn't even.
YN. Well, yeah,
Didn't hear
because
that first
there are
Meaghan.
Meaghans who toss in a Y.
Oh, my God.
Who knows
Wow.
why, but why.
Ah.
And
And
there's the Sarah sitting on the back being like, we just have one letter we swap in and out.
yep. There's going to be some Sarah at some point who throws a Y in before the R just as a curveball.
Yeah, 2 R's.
Or
In any case, we were discussing this with Meaghan, and Meaghan said, "Yeah, I get it." And now I feel bad about this whole conversation because, as you pointed out, her mum's probably listening. Hey, Carrie, Meaghan is like
She brought it up.
Meaghan is like so on the name Meaghan,
right.
and
Yeah.
we say, "Well, all right, well, if you were gonna have a new name, Meaghan, what would it be?"
Right.
And I just thought this was an opportunity for us to chip in on that conversation
Okay.
because a lot of people come to the north from the south to reinvent themselves.
Right. Yes.
And if
Yeah.
she's going to go down that road and decide that now maybe is the time for a new first name, I think the least we can do here at Cabin Radio is start going through the list
yeah.
and
Okay.
deleting a few, like Amanda, Jennifer. I feel like they've been done.
Yeah. Barb.
Yeah, steady. My mother's listening.
Yeah. Beatrice.
You can't just delete Barb.
I wasn't deleting it. I was throwing
Morning,
out
Mum.
suggestions.
How's it going over there in Scotland?
Well, we all know her as Babs anyway.
It's true, we know
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
Babs.
so it's- yeah.
Barb is very much what my dad called her. I think
Right.
the only person I can ever recall referring to my mother as Barb is my dad.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's like Mags and Margaret.
I'm not sure I even knew her name was Barb. So.
Yeah. Barbara Lee.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. That's actually cool when you throw.
Yeah.
She hyphenates it.
Yeah.
Both my parents doesn't hyphenate it. His middle name is Lee.
Ah.
Both my parents had middle names that were not middle names, and it's unclear as to how it ever happened. My mother's middle name is Lee, Lee, which
Okay.
makes no sense.
Okay.
And my father's middle name was Jones, which is just not a middle name. That's a last name, Dad.
So
And
in Scottish culture, the middle name is typically your mother's maiden name.
Oh, really?
So my dad is Ian McFarlane Goodwin, and my mom is Helen Robertson Goodwin.
which would be great if either of my parents were Scottish.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yours make no sense.
No.
We
Well,
have a reason.
I grew up with a couple Lees, like just first name Lee, Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah, as a first name.
They had trouble in elementary school.
I'd take a Lee. I'd go with a Lee.
Yeah.
You know?
Does she have a short list for what she
Well,
might
no, this
want
is
her
what I
name
want
be
to help
changed
with.
to?
This is why
Okay.
I'm here for your consultation and both of your, considerable, some would say formidable creative powers.
Right.
Many wouldn't. And I wanted to see what we could come up with. More what we could rule out. We've got enough Sarahs.
We've got enough Sarahs.
Like
yeah.
the last thing I need right now from a human resources point of view is to have another reporter called Sarah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if she wants to be like kind of in the group, but like 1 degree of separation away from Sarah, she could go with like Sierra.
Sauron.
Ooh. Or Sarah.
Not Sauron.
Not Sauron. Yeah.
I don't know if anyone wants to go with that
been
one.
taken.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would gladly dispatch Sauron Brackenbury to go and cover if
Oh, man.
anything is likely to scare a politician ahead of an upcoming interview.
Yeah.
It's learning that your interviewer is called Sauron.
Yeah. Here's your mic. If you could just put this ring on.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of good names in Lord of the Rings, that sphere, if she wants to go with, like, you know, a bit fantasy, like Bilbo. Bilbo Brackenbury.
Oh,
That rolls off the tongue.
it does
That's
roll
kinda
off
nice.
the tongue, doesn't it?
What's her favorite movie? Do we know her favorite movie?
I don't know her
No.
favorite movie.
Oh,
no.
is it what? We know the Christmas story's up there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, not Sibs.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, there's a. I don't know how much we've done of that on the
Go
air,
down
but
that
this
road.
newsroom has been racked with division for the last 3-4
man.
weeks over that.
Yeah.
The Christmas Story fans and the Christmas Story haters. It's terrifying.
Luckily, we got another year before we really have to open that that vault
What's your
back
kid's
up.
name in Christmas Story?
Ralphie.
Ralphie.
Yeah.
There you go.
Ralphie
Ralphette.
Brackenbury.
Or Randy.
Ralphette.
If you're talking
Ralphette
about the
Brackenbury.
used one.
Ralphie
Brackenbury.
Mary Brackenbury.
Ralphie Mary Brackenbury. Yes.
Now that
Very nice.
rolls right up.
Very nice.
That's
Okay.
Beautiful. Yep,
So we
like
got
that.
we got a few pretty good candidates. I was thinking if she wanted to perhaps appropriate something from her new surroundings in the Northwest Territories, you could go with Mackenzie. The
Oh, yeah.
Mackenzie Mountains, Mackenzie Brackenbury. That's
That's
kind of a
Yeah.
nice sounding name. Sticks with the first initial anyway, so she doesn't have to.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like that train
up.
of thought.
If we're going NWT, we could maybe
Chip
go
seal.
Sigachek?
Chips.
Chip seal. That's a good one. Yep. Arsenic.
Arsenic. Yeah.
Arsenic Mary Brackenbury.
R.C. Berry. Yeah.
RC.
She's deadly on the news, bro. That Arsenic Brackenbury.
Yeah.
She could kill the whole world.
Deadly journalist. Okay. So maybe we could run these by her. We got a few good candidates. I thought you just meant she wanted a new nickname because, of course, last week, Jesse coined the new nickname Meaghan 2 Takes Brackenbury, which is not particularly flattering.
No.
No,
But
although
if she owns it, though.
we've since developed that. So it was 2
Oh.
takes. It's now 2 snakes.
2 snakes.
2 snakes. Wow. That is,
Because
sounds gang related.
Wow.
we got
Yeah.
into a discussion about the propensity of snakes, the garter snakes of Fort Smith,
Okay.
to curl up into a clump of many, many snakes and get it on every spring. Brack declared very loudly in the newsroom that she has no right to judge what 20 consenting snakes decide to do,
Right.
which was fair,
Yeah.
if not a sentence I'd expected to hear that day. So she's now 2 snakes Brackenbury.
Wow.
Oh.
Arsenic 2 Snakes Brackenbury. Yeah, she's definitely the leader of a gang.
I've got
No
one
question.
more. And
R2B2, if you will.
Ooh, that's a nice one, too.
Go
I've
ahead.
got one more,
Yep.
and it's right behind you. Raven.
Raven. That is pretty Raven.
I've met 2 ravens, and they were pretty cool.
Yeah, really?
Not the bird. 2 people named Raven.
Okay.
The birds were not cool.
The birds
Those
were
birds,
the birds
they-
were
I mean,
actually
they're
jerks.
pretty
Yeah.
cool.
I was shooing them off my property.
I would have to think you've met way more than 2 ravens, the bird, by this
Oh, we
point.
don't know that. They all look very similar. It's hard
That's a very good point. I think they would take offense to that, but nevertheless, okay. So we got it. We got a good short list for Meaghan. So yeah, maybe we'll follow up with her
Yep.
tomorrow.
She's in
see what she
Weckwoody
thinks.
today. So
Oh yeah, right. So that'll be tough.
I have to wait for her to come back from that. I'm not sure she really needs to be interrupted. She's on a very important mission. She's accompanying the vaccine
Right.
to Weckwoody, which is very cool today.
Armed guard.
Yeah. We sent Brack with a packed lunch of noodles and goldfish
Oh, you
to
don't-
defend the vaccine.
You don't want to mess with 2 snakes.
2 snakes.
Okay. Well,
we're gonna get her a tattoo gift certificate for her next birthday. One on each arm, Brack.
Sorry,
Do it. 2
Sorry,
snakes.
Gary.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. So perhaps we'll have a long list by the time she gets back. Then.
Yeah,
She's
we got
doing
time.
Very important stuff. Okay. All right. We will continue to develop that story and bring you the results as we look for a new name for Meaghan 2 Snakes Brackenbury.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast.
You know, sometimes you just got to make sure you give credit where credit is due. And it could be like a self-congratulating thing, but nevertheless, something that needs to be highlighted on this Wednesday morning. AJ, you want to do the honors?
I could, but I don't have the article in front of me.
Okay, fair enough. So if you go
I
to-
want to get it. I want to quote
Okay.
it correctly.
Okay, bring it up. Warmly and accurately, please.
Okay, here we are. January 12th, 2021. Written by Emily Blake, and I believe this is actually her headline too. Gastown hopes milkshakes brings Yellowknifers to yard. That was hard to read. Gastown hopes milkshakes bring Yellowknifers to yard.
That applause is both for the delivery and for the headline itself.
Thank you.
Emily Blake knocking it out of the park yesterday. Please go to the Cabin Radio Facebook page and give her props in the comments section. I'm just looking down the comments right now, and I don't know if they do it justice. A lot of people are just very happy about the news, not as overjoyed about the headline.
Someone messaged on Twitter and said, well, I could teach you. And Ollie responded, well, yeah, but we'd have to charge.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
That is good
and
stuff.
It is very good news, regardless of the headline. But there are just some times when you just got to take a moment.
Yeah.
And again, that, you know what? Second slow clap for that. Well done, Emily Blake, the host of the Friday morning pop culture trivia party. And of course, Broad Appeal, which happens tonight at 6 p.m. right here on Cabin Radio. Just wearing all hats here at the Cabin, doing great journalism, writing great headlines.
She's having a big week.
She is having a big week.
Yeah.
And you pointed out that, yeah, she wrote that headline herself. And this is actually, that should be highlighted as well, because it's not often that, I don't think our journalists even bother most times writing their own headlines, because a lot of times they know that, it's going to go through Ollie's hands.
Yep.
He's going to edit it, and he's going to put his own, crafty little headline on there.
Of course, but when you know, you know.
You can't improve on perfection.
When you know, you've got to bring it forward. You have to. And frankly, if she hadn't have used this headline, I would have been very disappointed.
I think she would have been fired.
A milkshake article without a reference to Khalees? Not happening.
The boys
Not
are
at this
waiting.
organization.
That's
no,
right.
No.
That's right.
Do you think Khalees knew, when she wrote that song, that this would just be brought up for decades?
There's no way. There's no way she could have possibly known the legs that song, not even just the song itself, but just that line. My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. There's no way she could have known.
Yeah, even lots of boys are also reciting this. I mean, you can do whatever you want, right? I mean, that's right. It goes every way. It's incredible.
Famously, Ben Stiller at the end of Dodgeball.
Yes,
I can't help but get that image out of my mind every time I hear that song, and every time it is referenced. Ben Stiller in a large suit.
Yes.
Comes to mind.
Cameo, Chuck Norris. That's right.
So thank you, Emily Blake, for brightening all of our days, all of our weeks, and really just setting 2021 off on a good foot.
It was a good foot, yeah. And it's nice to know that they're starting up milkshakes at Gastown.
That is very exciting.
Headline aside.
That is very exciting.
It's also a very exciting article.
So good on you, Gastown, inspiring Emily Blake to write this award-winning headline. And you can enjoy that and very much more at cabinradio.ca and the Cabin Radio Facebook page.
Thanks for listening. Check out more from the show at cabinradio.ca and by following the Mornings at the Cabin Facebook page.